Meta is facing one of the biggest legal tests yet over the impact of social media on children. Attorney generals from 29 US states are taking Meta to court, accusing the company of deliberately designing Facebook and Instagram to be addictive to children and misleading users about the safety of its platform. The case could have consequences far beyond Meta. The company says potential damages across the litigation could reach $1.4 trillion, an amount close to Meta's entire market value. So what exactly is Meta accused of? Well, the central allegation is that Meta knew some of its products could harm young users but continued using features designed to keep them engaged. That includes features such as infinite scrolling, personalized recommendations, and other engagement-driven design choices. The states argue that these systems can encourage compulsive use and contribute to problems including mental health difficulties, body image concerns, and other harms among young people. The case also alleges that Meta illegally collected and used data belonging to children. Meta denies the allegations and says it has invested heavily in protecting young users. Now, Meta is not being ordered to pay $1.4 trillion. That is an estimate of the potential financial exposure the company has warned about from this litigation. The current federal case is one of a much wider group of lawsuits involving Meta and other social media companies. So the actual financial consequences will depend on the outcome of individual cases, damages awarded, and any eventual appeals or settlements. Now, the US states are not simply asking for money. They are actually also seeking changes to how Meta's platforms operate. Among the measures being discussed are restrictions on certain features for young users, changes to infinite scrolling, deletion of algorithms trained on children's data, and changes to how content is promoted to minors. That could potentially affect the way millions of young people use Instagram and Facebook. And it could force other technology companies to reconsider similar features. So why is this being called a big tobacco moment? Well, the comparison with the big tobacco comes from the idea that a major industry could face sustained legal pressure over claims that its products cause widespread harm. For Meta, however, this is not one lawsuit. There are thousands of cases across the US involving social media companies and alleged harm to young users. They involve state government, schools, districts, and individual users. More than 3,300 individual cases have been consolidated in federal litigation, while more than 1,000 school districts are also seeking compensation. And Meta has already lost a major case before. Just days before this federal trial, a New Mexico court ordered Meta to pay about $567 million over allegations involving harm to children. Combined with an earlier jury award, Meta's liability in that case reached about $942 million. The court also ordered changes including stronger age verification and restrictions aimed at protecting minors. Meta plans to appeal. That ruling has raised the stakes for the much larger federal case. So what happens next? Well, the federal trial is being heard in California. Opening statements are scheduled for 18th August and the trial is expected to last around 7 weeks. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram chief Adam Mosseri are expected to testify. There is an unusual element to this case. An advisory jury will provide opinions to help guide the judge, but its verdict will not itself be legally binding. And that is why this case matters beyond Meta. The question before the court is increasingly becoming a much bigger one. How much responsibility should technology companies bear for the way their platforms are designed, especially when those platforms are used by children? If the US states succeed, the consequences could go beyond a financial penalty. They could force Meta and potentially the wider social media industry to change how these platforms are designed, how they collect children's data, and how they keep young users engaged.